The Latin community is no stranger to discrimination. The Brujas and specifically are what I'll be covering today. The Mariposa consciousness and Joteria go hand in hand. Mariposas are men who engage in non-heteronormative gender and sexual behavior while being considered feminine. Joteria, on the other hand, are terms that were previously used derogatorily against gay men as a whole. Terms like joto and jota were used as slurs to demean and dehumanize gay men. As I am not a part of these communities, I will not be saying these terms in any way other than academically. They originate from the colloquial Spanish term joto, which was associated with effeminate men in Mexico and Mexican communities in the US. The term's etymology traces back to the early 20th century, specifically from joto, the name of a cell block in Lecumberri prison in Mexico City, where effeminate prisoners were isolated and bullied. Joteria terms were derogatory, and the word mariposa started out the same. It was used as an insult against feminine gay men, similar to the F slur in American culture. Luckily, the Mariposa have gone on to reclaim the word and have established an ideal under the Mariposa consciousness. While the idea isn't attributed to one person in particular, it's mostly associated with the writings of Rigoberto Gonzalez. The word mariposa, directly translated, means butterfly. It dates back to 16th century Spain, and as I previously mentioned, was used to describe an effeminate gay man. In this context, however, it is a symbol representative of queer Chicano identity. The butterfly represents the deification of the human soul via the Greek myth of Psyche. It's about recognizing one's social positioning, understanding the historical context of marginalization, and fostering a sense of empowerment rooted in cultural heritage. It really is a different way of thinking. The symbolism of the Mariposa challenges negative stereotypes such as portraying queer men as passive or tragic by emphasizing strength, beauty, and agency. The butterfly thus becomes a powerful emblem of liberation, embodying both vulnerability and resilience. Both Mariposa and Joteria terms have been reclaimed by the Latino, Chicano, LGBTQIA+ community and have transformed them from insults into markers of pride, identity, and resistance. Joteria now signifies a collective identity rooted in queer Latinx and Chicanx experience, emphasizing resilience, fun, and radical love. Just as the symbolism of the Mariposa has transformed negative stereotypes associated with similar gay men. Finally, the Brujas. Brujeria, meaning witchcraft in Spanish, refers to a broad spectrum of spiritual practices rooted in African, Caribbean, and indigenous Latin American traditions. These practices have been used for centuries as means of healing, protection, and spiritual connection. Historically, Brujeria faced intense stigmatization and persecution, especially during the Spanish colonization and the era of the Inquisition in Latin America. Colonial authorities and the Catholic Church sought to suppress indigenous and African spiritual practices, branding them as heretical or satanic. The negative stereotypes of the bruja as an evil enchantress have persisted, casting a shadow over their spiritual practices for centuries. Just as the Mariposa and Jotos have done, the Brujas reclaimed their identity. During colonial times, women used sexual magic and spiritual practices to reclaim autonomy. Modern Brujas continue to harness spiritual practices as a form of feminist empowerment, asserting control over their bodies, spirits, and destinies. It is more important now, more than ever, to recognize the strength and importance of these marginalized groups. Our president has made it clear that he does not want to uplift our cultures nor our beliefs. And with people being deported simply based on the color of their skin, we can learn from the Brujas, Jotos, and Mariposas to embrace ourselves and fight to accept who we really are, even if our society at large wants us gone. Because this applies not just to the LGBTQIA+ or women, but every minority and ally in America.